Hi everybody, and welcome to Blarney Castle and Gardens, and a happy new year, because this is our first video since the start of the new year. So I hope you're all doing well in 2021, and we are open still to locals, and there's a good lot of people walking round. But for all of you that can't get in, we thought we'd try and bring you over the next few weeks what I'm terming new arrivals. So it is the start of spring technically here for us. We tend to have a few early starters, so it's always exciting to see the first things emerging. So without further ado, here's one of them, and this is a very early daffodil, Rheinsfeld early sensation. So the name says what it is, it's early and it's a sensation. And we planted 30,000 of these originally on the avenue here, and they're just starting to come through now. And over the next couple of weeks they'll come through and peak, and this becomes a sea of golden daffodils. And because we're on a slight hill as well, the drop down in the view is very impressive, and it's certainly one of our most popular photographed areas. And February, early March, it still hangs on. So we'll start with that, and now I'm going to bring you to another avenue and look at some of our snowdrops. So thanks. We're now on our front avenue, which is our old lime avenue, and I'm here to show you our snowdrops. Now there's a few emerging, there's always a few early brave souls if you like, but in a few weeks time this will be a carpet of white, and if Paul steps down and zooms in, you'll see they're a lovely delicate little flower, and stunning on their own, but also as, you know, mass drifts, they're quite hard to beat. And as an early flower coming through, it's for me one of the first real signs of spring. And we'll probably bring you back in another few weeks and show you the whole avenue when it's out and fully established. But it's exciting to see, because it's these signs of spring and something new and new life emerging. I always think is a real positive kind of upbeat thing. And so over the weeks we'll show you different bulbs emerging and other new life, if you like. So, and take of that what you will. But next I'm going to bring you down and show you some of our new seedlings in the glass house. So I'll see you down there. We're now in the nursery areas of our glass houses in our walled garden, and this time of year is always exciting because it's the start of the new growth. And again, we're seed sowing various different varieties of seeds, vegetables and ornamentals. And what we see in front of you here is the start of the germination of my Vietnamese collections. So these are all wild collected from the mountains of northern Vietnam, which is hugely exciting for me anyway. And in years to come will be planted out into the gardens or shared with other gardens around Europe. So if Paul wants to zoom in a little bit, I'll show you a couple of these. These are varieties of maple Acer, and you can see they all look very similar when they're young, but some of these were distinctly different leaf shapes and fruit colour. This one I've actually marked, used collection numbers BCG 167, but Acer species, very nice. And I've got photographs of this from when I collected it, and the fruit on it was absolutely bright scarlet and stood out a mile. So it's always good to know what were, well, when you collected them, the good specimens, because as we grow them on, it'll be interesting to compare and contrast. But hugely exciting times, lots coming through, newly emerging. And then just beyond us here, this is our mist unit, which is a heated bench with a misting spray for watering. And in here we have all of our rhododendron seedlings. And a lot of things we sow are reasonable size. You can see the seed you're dealing with, but rhododendrons are almost like powder. When you sow them, they're so fine. And when they germinate, it's tiny seedlings. So I'm going to pull one out and let Paul zoom in, but you'll see we get large numbers. And they're very slow growing, so it takes a long time to transfer these out into the gardens. We're really talking 2 or 3 years minimum before we'll have a plant that we can start planting and moving around. So there's a lot of time and effort goes into it, but Many of these are wild collected species that we can't buy in the, down the road in the nurseries. And from a point of view of collections in gardens, environmentally it's great as well, because we're preserving for the future what may well be lost in the wild. So conservation in action here. So that's some of what's coming through at the moment. There'll be a lot more over the next few weeks as we sow more and as things start to get back to life. And things like, for example, the grapevine in here, currently completely dormant. We're just going to finish off pruning it in the next week or so. And then very quickly, when we get a bit of heat, the sap will start rising and suddenly you'll see a burst of growth. And as all these things come on, I want to show you what's going on around the gardens and kind of bring you into it. Because it is exciting, and I think if you can't visit, at least you can see something from the comforts of your own home. So we're going to finish with one more flower that I'd like to show you before I say goodbye for now, and that's down in our poison garden, so I'll see you in a minute. We're now in our poison garden, which is just adjacent to the castle here, and this is another new arrival, which is one of our Christmas roses, hellebore species, and you can see they have an exquisite flower. Now generally these flowers are quite shy, they tend to face down to the ground like that, so you actually have to get down close and have a look to really appreciate them. But these are almost a woodland perennial, so the edge of woodlands in, I suppose, quite rich, free draining ground. They don't like bog, but they'll do well in semi-shade or even in sunlight, and really good plant. So there you go, a few new arrivals around the place, and over the weeks and months to come we're going to try and really get to grips with all the new growth on the estate and what's going on, and kind of, even though you can't come, we'll try and bring you in anyway. So stay tuned, as they say, and I look forward to the next video. Thanks a lot.